All right, so before we jump into kind of going through getting backlinks, I want to do a quick SEO overview first, to kind of talk about what we're going to be doing with SEO and also kind of some updates and things you need to keep in mind kind of in this day and age doing SEO. So first part, with SEO, we have on-page and off-page SEO. So for on-page SEO, just basically the stuff you do right on your site. It's just the basic stuff of getting your main keyword in the title tag, in the H1 tag, mixing it into your content. Usually it helps to have it at the start and the end of your content. Using variations and related terms in the content work as well. You can also use that main keyword if you have images on the page. You can use them in the image alt text. That one I don't really use as much, not nearly as important, but do make sure you're getting the main keyword in your page title, in your H1 tag, also in the name of the page. So again, if we're using WordPress, we kind of already went through that, so you want it to be in the actual URL as well. But just basic stuff. Not overdoing it, definitely not overdoing it. No stuffing your keyword in there. There's no certain percentage you need to be at. Just write naturally and kind of make sure it's in the important parts of the page. So with off-page SEO, again, that's just going to be basically building backlinks to our site. So when you're doing that, the number one thing I can't say enough is you have to vary your anchor text. In the past, if you wanted to rank for a keyword, you just kept kind of throwing links at your site using that keyword in the anchor text. That definitely no longer works. You can definitely get hit with over-optimization penalties. So again, you want to always vary your anchor text. Greatly vary your anchor text. The most important thing I can tell you. Be conservative, especially when you're starting off, and kind of see how your site does in the rankings. And then if you want to get a little more aggressive, you can try that. But always start off conservative and varying your anchor text. You want to use a lot of branded links, which is one of the reasons we kind of went with the branded domain. So for the example site, the site is Golf Swing HQ. So I would use a lot of links with the anchor text of Golf Swing HQ. Again, building a link back to my site using the brand of the site. And that's one of the reasons we don't want to that's one reason where an exact match domain, you can run into some troubles, because if you're building brand links, you're actually building exact match links as well. So that's a good place to start off, is always using the branded links. And another great place to start is with URL links. So just building basically naked links back to your site. So just links that are your URL. So again, for the demo site, I could just link back with the anchor text, the HTTP //www.golfswinghq.com. You also want to mix these up, because if you want to think, how would a site get links naturally? Not everybody that links to a site, on their own accord is going to link exactly the same. So some people might link to the site just using the anchor text, golfswinghq.com. Some might use www.golfswinghq.com. Some might use the HTTP, the full URL. So mix those up as well when you're going through building your URL links. So when you start building links, these are just very broad kind of suggestions of how many of each links you should build. This is always going to change. This is kind of just a good conservative way to get started. So I would say around 50% of your links use the brand and URL links. And again, using a wide variety. So the different types of URLs. So if about half your links are that, you should be pretty safe with that. Then you have exact and variation anchor text. So, exact, of course, would be your exact keyword. Variations would be your keyword with other words around it, mixing up the order, using synonyms. And those can be anywhere, if you want to be conservative, I would say about 10%. You can, go higher. I would say 30% is probably about as high as you want to go. Again, with these, when I'm building links to a site, and again, we're going to usually target lower competition sites. You don't need, you're not going to need thousands of links. So when I'm building these, I usually try to never repeat an anchor text. So again, I switch it up every single time I build a link, and that's a great way to never get over optimized, by always switching it up. Down the road, if your rankings aren't getting, if kind of stuck in a spot, you might need to do some more exact match anchors. But just starting out, I try to never repeat it, just always use a different variation, or you can keep using your keyword but mix other words in with it. And then lastly, you want some just random links going back to your site. A normal site would have a lot of just random links. So I could link with the anchor text of click here, link, website. For this one, it's a golf site. I could just put golf instruction. So you do want to mix in those random anchor texts as well. Again, it's going to help not getting over optimized, and it's going to make it look natural. So that's a very broad overview of how many of each to build. Those are estimates. The more conservative you are, the more safer you are as well. When you're building your initial links, like I said, try to never repeat the same anchor text, something I always do. I'm always switching it up. Always build links to the home page and the inner pages, so don't just blast all of your links at the home page. That's not natural. Blast them, or not blast them, but send them to your home page and your inner pages as well. So always mix that up. I always prefer links that I can control, and then I can also change those if needed. I prefer to go out and get links where it's a link type, and we'll talk about link types in the next video. It's a link that if needs be, if Google changes their algorithm again, I can go out and I can change those links. So they're not on places where I have no control over those. And because of that, I no longer use any kind of automated tools to build links. Again, I always want them built somewhere where I can go change it if necessary. With most automated tools, once you build it, it's kind of out there. And if Google makes a switch, like they have many times, and people have all these links out there that are hurting their site, and they really have a hard time of going out and changing them or deleting them. So I like to have full control over all the links I build. So that's just a quick overview to keep in mind as we're building links. In the next video, we'll talk about starting to build those links to your site.